No. Monsters. What are you doing with this? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
So, you guys are working in elementary with some of the coolest kids we've ever known. However, it's not always the greatest. So what are the things that we would like to communicate to all of our volunteers and our leaders in elementary starting in this fall school year?
Yeah, you want to take it, Deb?
Have confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah.
Why, are you scared of the kids?
I'm gonna win. Winner!
Some of those kids are bigger than I am.
They're all bigger.
They're bigger than us. Always. Yeah.
We're a team, though.
Yeah.
And we appreciate volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
So,
We do this with volunteers, and they are the most important.
V-O-L
YMCA.
U-N-T-E-R.
So, I'll ask you guys, what if I feel like a kid is being very intimidating and so I'm low on confidence? What do I do?
Approach them, get on their level, and talk to them. If Deb's a kid...
That's not very much shorter than us anyway.
That's a good point. But in the eye. Yeah, get down on their level and talk to them.
I'm not having a lot of confidence in
I know.
But really, truly, say I'm a volunteer and I don't know what I'm doing, and Deb is leading. I'm going to go to you. I'm just going to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to do, and you're going to coach me, or if you're the leader, you're going to coach me. That's what we're here for, is to help these volunteers succeed, even if they don't feel confident. But I would say, we are officially giving you that authority, and we want you to use that as borrowed authority. You use that authority to know. Don't make up rules. Follow, you'll see the expectations that we'll be talking to the kids on Sunday mornings. So you're enforcing those, but you have the authority to enforce those expectations. If you have questions, talk to us.
Even if you're short.
Perfect. All right, so Deb, I know upstairs I can get one of the pop cans, with lots of sugar and lots of caffeine, or I might bring hot chocolate down here. What do we want to say to our volunteers if they see a child coming down here with pop, hot chocolate, or they put some kind of goo in a water bottle? Even water bottles. What am I enforcing as a volunteer down here?
I think we should take it from them and say, thank you for bringing this to me, and drink it.
Then I'm sugared up and caffeined up, and you should see Josiah here. When he's on caffeine. You can't see him, he's like the Flash. So Josiah, what is our policy that we want our volunteers enforcing when it comes to drink in this room?
We're going to stop them at the door and tell them, in this room, we only have water. Nothing with any sugar, no colorings, nothing like that. Only water is allowed into this area.
Deb, when she has a water bottle, what she does when you're teaching? She crinkles it.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes a lot of noise while you're teaching. So, talking to these leaders, what happens if they see a child going crick, 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 crick with one of those bottles?
We got to hold it for them because they can't use the water responsibly, and we're gonna take it.
Okay. What if a child is coming in, they might be new, or we have no idea what it's been like on the ride to church in the morning, and we can tell when they come in the door, they're stressed, there's a little bit of trauma that might have happened. How do we help that child want to come in, the parent dropped them off successfully? What can we do?
just get down again and look at them, get on their level, and be able to just be their friend. And try to, hey, let's go have some fun together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then what is our policy, Josiah, if a child is distressed? I mean, we aren't able to calm them down.
Yeah, if a child is just inconsolable and they can't handle themselves in this room, come to a check-in team member or Paul or myself, and that way we can communicate directly to the parents through us.
Yeah.
You come, tell us, and we will handle it.
Because what is on their name tag, that's a part of why it's so important, they never remove that. Because if you're at the door, one of the things you're checking is...
Their prison number.
Because Josiah's the warden.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all the jailers.
Where's my gun?
Oh,
We have super soakers. Yeah. But what on that name tag, so why is the name tag on them at all times important? But it connects to if we have to call their parent.
Safety. Safety first.
Yeah.
Because that little code tells us who they belong to. Because if they don't have that code, we get to adopt them and take them home with us.
And they get to clean all downstairs.
Yeah. And the toilets at my house, I specifically never clean them so that one of these kids will have to come because their parents can't pick them up. They lost their name tag. Well, okay, so you're at the door and you see a child picking it off and putting it on and picking it off and putting it on. I want you to say something to that child in the presence of their parents.
Absolutely. Because then it makes the parent and the child responsible.
Yes. I know sometimes, Josiah, sometimes the fabric the kids are wearing, the name tags just plain old don't stick. So the question is, some fabrics, they just don't stick well to.
Yeah.
And if a volunteer is helping at the door, greeting kids coming in, what do we do?
Mm-hmm. I've seen it on a lot of dresses where it comes right off. Either find a spot where it will stick. If they have pants, put it on their pants. If it's different fabric on the back, put it on the back. And if it just won't stick, then put it on you, and you be responsible for that.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
Yeah. Sometimes if we hold it for the kid, then it still works. We've got it. But then the other thing is on that tag is a cell phone number. And this is one of the reasons why it's important. If there was ever an active evacuation and we had to say take all the kids over to the courthouse, we can text the parents off that name tag. And so this is one of the things that you would be saying to the parent at drop-off if a kid is fiddling with their tag. Mom and Dad, this is why you want that tag on them at all times so that we can send you a text if there's an emergency. It's not just for being weird that we want a name tag. There's a security to it.
So we've got lots of kids who come here and they're regulars. And we have lots of kids who come and it's their first time ever and we might see them once in a blue moon. Each of these kids matter here. Like, how do we come to both of these groups of kids and engage them well in this space?
Well, you get to know them.
She likes to get down on the level.
Yes, I do. So if you say, hey, let's go play over here, or look at what those kids are doing over there, bring them into the community.
Yeah. I see you do that well. You will actually take a child to a play place or one of the garages with some stuff and actively engage them, and that's really good. Yeah.
And the only thing a kid owns is their name. And the name tags, they're there for a reason also, like, say their name. The more you say their name and repeat it and just conversation, the more they will connect with you.
Yeah.
And you might remember it next Sunday.
Yeah.
You might.
It's a lot of names.
Then the other thing is if they want to sit in one of our chairs, that's an okay-ish. We don't want the kids saying, here's what they will do and what they won't do.
Yeah.
That needs to be a conversation with their parents.
Jesus came to build relationships.
Yep.
And that's what we are trying to do here, is to build relationships.
Yeah.
And that's highly important when kids come in, that we build that relationship with them so that they can build with each other.
Yeah, because if they're isolating themselves, we aren't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay.
So now, again, all these kids that are coming, whether they're regulars or they're new and they're every once in a blue moon coming, sometimes these kids say things that are very serious. They bring up questions, they bring up facts about home, things that are happening. And if a kid brings that up to me or you or any of you, what do?
Listen, number one, listen completely. And then if you feel it's something that could be unsafe for here, or when they're outside of the church, in their home, in the community, whatever, go find a ransom staff member.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they will take you through the procedures that you need to go through.
Yeah, I would say, be shock-proof. Don't go, oh my, what? Don't do that. Just be a listener, but be a discerner
Yes.
of what kind of information they're sharing. And we also have a form
Mm-hmm.
to fill out, and that they find that form where?
They find that form in or at our check-in desk.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a confidential form, but just in case,
Mm-hmm.
you can share all of that with us. And if it has to escalate, like there is a safety to a child issue, what happens to that kind of information?
That kind of information goes through Paul or I up to our executive team, and then if it's deemed, we will contact authorities and take it from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So I, as the volunteer, don't have to feel like I've got to call Child Protective Services or anything like that. I'm a very good listener. I don't react in the moment, and then I head to a staff, right, and fill out the report, and we take it from there.
And now we're out here and we're having a great time, and people are having fun,
Yeah.
and things are just
Josiah's
happening.
talking, so I don't want to listen
I'm
to what he's
teaching, and
saying.
they're just not listening.
And where's my water bottle? I'm gonna pickle. I need a picture
I'm
center.
trying.
What? There's only so much that whoever up here is teaching can do in these situations.
She hit it. She started it.
No, he did, because he opened his mouth.
If you see this, especially if it's these two, if it's these two on Sunday mornings, yikes. You guys, around all of the chairs, this is your duty to step in and engage these kids and bring their focus with maybe just a simple gesture, like pointing to the ear, or just a touch on the shoulder to re-engage them with whatever is happening up front.
Yeah.
And if it comes to it, and they're fighting like these two, move them to another location. Get somebody between them. Whatever you can do to help them engage with what is happening.
But does that mean if you're on this side of the room and the problem is way over on that side of the room,
Yeah, I've seen you have to deal with that.
so what do? Do we just sit in our own little area? Or do we make an attempt, if somebody, other volunteer is busy doing something else, do we have that authority to go over and correct that?
Yes.
Have the authority. What's the right way to correct that? I mean, you were talking a little bit about it, but I see you do that really well. Role model it for us.
So if I'm up here teaching and I see something going on in the front row, I'll just keep teaching. And I'll walk over and I'll look at them and smile as I keep talking, or I tap them on the knee, whap them on the
Right,
head.
there's appropriate parts of the body that you can touch,
Yes.
and me is one of them.
Be as positive as you can, because the more negative you are, the more negative feedback you will get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and truly, if it really escalates, you try and find Josiah and I, and we will deal with it. But Deb, talk to me about if you feel like you can't get it under control, there's a next step at pickup that we want to do, but it should be the last resort.
Right. Right, because if you feel that you have not handled it effectively, I won't say appropriately, because we try as adults to do it appropriately, but if it wasn't effective for you, at pickup time, you can mention it, like Josiah didn't wear his name tag like he was supposed to. So when his parent came to pick him up,
Yeah.
next time, Josiah, we're gonna keep our name tag on, aren't we?
Son, listen to Deb.
So say it in front of them, so that they are held responsible in front of the parents.
Now, I noticed though that you weren't accusing Josiah of like being a bad kid or stuff like that. You were pointing out behavior that is connected to our expectations. So, you know, you're not cutting the kid down, you're not communicating that we don't want the child there or that the child is in trouble at this point.
And you can express even a little bit further, you know, we just want to keep you safe, because
Thank
you expect us to
I
keep
do.
your son safe.
Yes, yes. And and as a dad, if you tell me that my son was making it hard for other kids to listen, I mean, I want to know that. But if you're coming at me that my son is an awful person, I don't think I like that.
And we always smile, and we always say, see you next week.
Yeah. I know I've seen you, Josiah, you know, you'll get down on their level, and certain parents are hearing, but you're talking to the child, reiterating the expectation. And that is a great way that parents feel honored, but they feel involved in their child's experience here.
And if it's a regular kid, somebody that you know from week to week, and 1 week they had a rough time, and the next week it was awesome, say that to them.
Yes.
Say that to them, and say that to the parent when they get picked up. Reinforce those good behaviors,
Yes.
the right choices that they're making.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one more thing for pickup. When we pick up, we usually have a long line of parents that come in. We want the parents to be able to stop right as they come in, and there will be somebody, one of you, who will be standing with a microphone, so you don't have to use your sergeant voice,
Yeah.
saying the names of the child. So when a child's name is called, they need to come not slowly, but, come on, Sonic.
As quick as they can.
As
I
quick
know,
as you
but
can.
sometimes Josiah is playing Gaga and he doesn't hear.
Well, we have trained the kids that they need to listen after the teaching time is over to know when their name is called.
Yeah, but we're talking Josiah.
Oh, yeah.
And he had caffeine.
But he's a really good kid, and we love to have him.
We did.
So, when their name is called, they need to react quickly, go to their parent, walk to the end of the lined area, and the parent needs to have their code with them,
The pickup tag.
the pickup tag. But, what if they have a smiley face and that's it? You gonna take this kid?
No,
No.
that's not a parent tag.
That's not a parent tag. What if you say, but I've been his parent since the day he was born?
No.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, because part of what we're doing is we're educating parents. This is a part of our security. You know, sometimes we have custody issues or that kind of a thing. And if the parent doesn't have their tag, nobody else can pick up that kid. That tag is specific.
And parents are getting used to us, because there have been times we've had to say no. And we have to tell them to go get a tag.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Then they can come back through the line, give us their tag, so that you need to match that code with the child's tag before you let them go.
And you can also, you know, help coach the parent. If they use the Church Center app to check in, it puts it on their phone. So if they lose the printed tag, it's on their phone. And so we can help encourage parents in that way.
Or we can also teach them how to put it on their own shirt.
A lot of parents do that. They put it on their pant
They
leg.
do.
Yeah. And that way they don't lose it. So we're educating them.
Yes.
But we need to enforce that.
And this last one is highly, highly important. And it's to pray, pray, pray. And as 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, do you know what that says?
Sure, but I don't know what Josiah answered.
Did you not memorize that
Pray without
one?
ceasing?
Pray without ceasing. And that doesn't mean constantly on your knees, but constantly in your heart praying. Pray before you get here, because these kids, you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what the issues are. You don't know what the parents have had to do all week. There might be just strife, you know. And so you want to pray that hearts will be open and receptive. And when they get here, I like to go either in the prayer closet or around the room and just pray for God's protection and His protection over the kids, over our church, over our pastors, over our volunteers, that we would be His vessels and do what He has asked us to do to actually bring about His will and purpose in these kids.
Yeah.
So even when we're at the door greeting kids or playing with the kids, say a little prayer for that kid as you're sitting with them. It doesn't have to be an elaborate prayer, but just, hey God, see this kid here? Give him what he needs. Show him what he needs. And then ask for the Holy Spirit to bring a fresh, new understanding, not only to the kids' understanding, but to our teaching, so that we are able to really bring about something new, so that they know Jesus.
Right, right. You're not just crowd control, you're a part of the spiritual formation that's happening in this room. Okay. If they have any questions, Josiah, beyond this, how do they get their questions answered?
Hold it to yourself.
Pray about it.
Pray about it. No, Paul and I are always open and willing to hear your questions and help you out in whatever way that we can. You have our numbers, you have our email. Reach out, Slack, text, email, call us.
My email is deb@gmail.com.
That is it. But the most important thing about volunteers, have fun.
Yes. If you're having fun,
They're having fun.
High
five.
all right, set free on 5. 1, 2, 3.
Set
Set free.
Five.